Hi there, Coach Stephanie here, and welcome to your cool down of the week. So we've got 5 poses for you today, and we're going to start in a seated position. So the first one is a seated cross-leg forward fold. And so you want to get your feet into this kind of cross position, but you want your feet kind of away from your hips so that you've kind of opened up this position a little bit. We're going to sit up really tall, and reach our arms up. And then we're just going to bow forward gently, allowing the hands to come towards the ground, allowing the head to relax. And we're just going to stay in these stretches for about a minute or so. And throughout this cool down, if there are positions you need to stay in a little bit longer, go for that or come back to it at the end. And as things start to open up, you can reach your arms out a little bit farther, trying to bow a little bit deeper. And then from here, just go ahead and sit up. We're going to just switch the cross of the feet. You might find this feels a little bit different than the other side, and that's okay. And so make sure those feet are just kind of out in front a little bit so that you've almost kind of gotten your shin parallel to the top of the mat. Sit up tall, reach the arms up, and we'll just go ahead and bow forward here, nice and easy. All right, and then from here, just go ahead and sit on up. We're going to come to a hands and knees position. Stretch out the forearms. Okay, so just kind of finding your knees and then placing your palms flat on the floor, but turning the fingers towards the knees so that the backs of the palms are or the tops of the palms are facing forward. And you just anchor the palms flat on the floor, and then we'll lean back just until we feel like we got to stretch. We want to keep the heel of the palm on the floor. And you can move around a little bit here. Good. And then go ahead and just kind of shake it out. Next, we're going to come into downward facing dog. We're going to do this 2 times. We'll stay there. We'll come back down to just kind of rest, and then we'll go back up. So let's place the palms underneath the shoulders and do a tabletop position to start. And then from here, you just tuck the toes under and send the hips up. And then for this first one, we'll just pedal out the feet and just kind of make sure that those hamstrings and the calves kind of feel good and starting to get some length. You're kind of pushing the floor away with the palms so that you're opening the shoulders and chest a little more. Good. And then from here, just go ahead and bring those knees down. Just going to shake it out. We want to make it nice and easy for you today. And then we'll go back into that down dog one more time. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. This time, let's try to anchor those heels down. Lift the hips up a little higher. Maybe a little sway side to side, but we're just kind of focusing now on drawing the heels down and creating length through the hamstrings as we draw the hips up. Good, and then from here, we'll go ahead and gently bring your knees back down. And then we're gonna go to a standing quad stretch. Now, you might not need something to hold on to. I'm going to. So I'm gonna find the rig post here. And I'm just gonna gently grab one foot. I'm gonna bring my knees together. And then from here, my tailbone is gonna kind of draw down towards the floor as I pull my ribs in. It's gonna give you a little bit more length through the front of the thigh, which is gonna intensify that stretch a little bit and even pull that stretch up towards the hip flexor if you're feeling tight up there. Good, and then we'll go ahead and switch. So again, we'll grab the foot, knees come together. Okay, and then that tailbone is just going to draw gently down as you hug the ribs in to create that extra length through the front of the thigh. Good, and we'll gently release that. And then the last one we have for today is going to be that half split. So we'll come back to the mat here, and we'll start on the knees. Let's step your right foot forward and kind of like sort of a lunge position to start. And then you're going to shimmy that front foot forward as you sit the hips back a little bit. So our leg is kind of straightened out. We're feeling all of this backside. If you flex that foot up towards the ceiling, you get a little bit more calf as well. And then if we extend the chest towards the toes, as though we were doing kind of like a good morning, we're going to feel lots more length through this side. I'm just going to hold here for a little. You can also be on the shin if that's a little bit too, if the fingertips on the floor is a little bit too much. Or if you set a plate below you, just something to kind of prop you up if you need a little bit more assistance here. Good. And then we'll just go ahead and release that foot, and then we'll switch sides. So left foot's going to come forward into that lunge. Okay. And then we'll just kind of sit the hips back, and we'll shimmy that front foot forward a little bit to a place that feels good. Toes are up towards the ceiling, and we're extending that chest so we get that long stretch through the back leg or that front leg. Good. All right. And then we can just go ahead and release that. So those are your cool down of the week positions for this week. Spend a little extra time throughout the week, especially if you feel sore or stiff somewhere. Stay in those stretches for a little bit longer. Use your breathing to help kind of relax everything. And hopefully you feel good after these sessions, and we'll see you next week.